imposed settlement of President Bola Tinubu on the River State crisis by Chief Dr. Wike. Firstly, I wish to commend President Bola Tinubu for heeding the various calls, including our own, to mediate in the ongoing crisis rocking River State by calling Barrister Nyesom Wike to order so as to restore peace and tranquility in the state and avert any problem similar to that which occurred in 2013, where Barrister Wike was Minister of State Education. However, the terms of settlement as contained in the communique issued at the end of the reconciliatory meeting is what is baffling, appalling, and unacceptable to the people, especially the Ijaw ethnic nationality. From the terms of settlement, it is obvious that President Tinubu sees his role as a mediator to once again show gratitude to the current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, for quote-unquote delivering River State to him during the past presidential elections, having first of all gratified him by making him the Minister of FCT. First observation, the composition of the attendees of the meeting was one-sided in favor of Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, because while Martins Amebule, a former speaker, because he has automatically lost his seat the very moment he decamped to another political party, was present at the meeting, it would have only been equitable and expedient for Edison here, the speaker, as affirmed by constitutional provisions and by the granting of the court, to be in the meeting, if there were sincerity of purpose. The 8 resolutions reached are the most unconstitutional, absurd, and obnoxious resolutions at certain feuding parties that I have ever witnessed in my life. As a matter of fact, some media captured it very well when they described it as directives from Mr. President. As for the fact that such thing was done at the Villa, the seat of the federal government of Nigeria, is sacrilegious, because any place housing or custodying the symbol of authority ought to be a sacred place. It is obvious that Governor Similaye Fubara was ambushed and intimidated into submission. President Tinubu should know that with all the powers he possesses, he cannot override the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. From all that transpired at the meeting, the laws of the land have not been obeyed. President Tinubu simply sat over a meeting where the Constitution, which is the fulcrum of his office as president and which he swore to uphold and abide by, was truncated and desecrated. 27 or so members, because the figure is not certain, of the River State House of Assembly left the political party on which platform they were elected. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear on that. Section 109 is quite clear, and it says, 1. A member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his seat in the House if G, being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that House was elected, provided that his membership of the later political party is not as a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member, or of a merger of 2 or more political parties or factions by one of which he was previously sponsored. 2. The Speaker of the House of Assembly shall give effect to subsection 1 of this section. So, however, that the Speaker or a member shall first present evidence satisfactory to the House that any of the provisions of that subsection has become applicable in respect of the member. Nyesom Wike is quite abreast of these constitutional provisions. He shouted his voice so as calling for the removal of persons like David Umahi as governor of Ebonyi State, then Ayade as governor of Cross River State, and then Lo Matawale as governor of Zamfara State when they decamped from the PDP, on which platform they were elected into office to the APC, citing the above constitutional provisions. What has changed? A court of competent jurisdiction has pronounced Edison Ehie as the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. That ruling has not been vacated, and based on that, he exercised the duties conferred on him by Section 1092, as quoted above, when the 27 or so members openly defected to APC, waving the flags of the party and singing President Tinubu's campaign songs from the People's Democratic Party. As at today, and going by the Constitution, the Rivers State House of Assembly has 4 members who are recognized by the laws of the land. Therefore, on what premise is Mr. President saying that the 27 decamped members should go back to the House? Under what political party, the PDP or the APC? The directives of Mr. President is absurd and cannot hold water. Mr. President should be aware that similarly Fubara today is elected governor of Rivers State. In the same manner, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the elected president of the country. And as a governor, Mr. Fubara possesses all the powers as conferred on him by the Constitution. 2. Resubmission of the names of the commissioners who have resigned their appointment. Another directive of Mr. President that the names of the commissioners who were nominated by Nyesom Wike and who resigned on their own volition and who have lost their trust in Governor Fubara should be represented to the Rivers State House of Assembly for clearance to become commissioners again is ridiculous. Who is nominating them to become commissioners again? Is it Mr. President? Was Mr. President thinking that he was mediating in a matter between Nyesom Wike and employees in Nyesom Wike's private company? Is it what Nyesom Wike means when he talks about structure, referring to Rivers State as his personal holdings or enterprise? 3. Representation of a budget already signed and passed into law. Another unthinkable directive of Mr. President is that a budget which has been passed into law should be represented. It is absolutely ridiculous and unconstitutional. By President Tinubu's actions and directives, he has overruled the constitution of the country. He has shaken the foundation of the country's democracy. People lost their lives fighting for democracy in this country. Today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made of no effect the blood of the freedom fighters shed to salvage this country. He has thrown the country's democracy 50 years backwards. This is unacceptable. Rather than building a strong system and society, we are building strong individual characters who are envious with our national patrimony through corruption and avarice. By the actions of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has really shown his dislike and disdain for the Jaw people and confirmed his hatred for them. And as the leader of the Jaws, we will resist it. Nyesom Wike is not an emperor. For the 8 years he was in power as governor of the Rivers State, he ruled with an iron fist. As governor, he will not accept such treatment from anyone, as he is spearheading to be meted out to the current governor of the state, similarly Fubara. Barrister Wike destroyed his opponents' houses and even threatened to kill them, as cried out by Senator Lee Maiba from Ogoni and Dr. B. Sekebo from Uprika. It is still fresh in our memory how Nyesom Wike, as Minister of State Education, used federal might to fight the then governor of Rivers State, Chibuike Amechi, that almost led to the grinding to a halt of governance in Rivers State when the judiciary was closed down and the House of Assembly was shut down by the then governor Rotimi Amechi. President Jonathan did not interfere in his action because if he did, he would definitely be breaching Section 5(2) of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which President Tinubu has deliberately breached despite his oath of office to uphold and promote the Constitution. Nyesom Wike is minister now, and again he's using the federal government to truncate the wishes of the people of Rivers State. The rule of law in the country is completely truncated by President Tinubu. While it will be noted that presently the National Assembly is discussing on the Bill of Local Government Autonomy, President Bola Tinubu is directing Governor Fubara to put into effect a bill passed by people who are no longer lawmakers. 4. The members of the House of Assembly choosing where they will sit to carry out their legislative duties. It is the duty of the executive to provide legislative accommodation for the houses of assembly, including the National Assembly, and not the members of the House of Assembly to choose a place to meet. It is in this vein that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in presenting his budget to the National Assembly, recognized the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as a landlord because he is of the executive arm of government. It is the FCT that owns the National Assembly complex and maintains it. It is therefore ridiculous and unconstitutional for President Tinubu to direct in his settlement that the members of the River State House of Assembly should meet wherever they want to meet. We will resist such draconic, arbitrary, and unconstitutional action by Mr. President and his customer, Nyesom Wike. We will go to court to challenge this so-called one-sided and oppressive action of Mr. President. On his part, the executive governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, who has the mandate of the people of Rivers State to govern them for the next 4 years, has shown feebleness of character by agreeing and appending his signature on a document containing such absurdity. He has betrayed the people who elected him as governor and those who stood behind him in this cause. Mr. Fubara has shown naivety in his actions. By signing that document, he has signed his death warrant, believing that the president will show him some sort of favor. Mr. Fubara's mandate is constitutional, and so he cannot surrender it in the face of intimidation from any quarter, and it is quite unfortunate. Did he go to that meeting to speak and justify his actions, or he went there to take directives from an equally elected president? As governor of a state and as the chief security officer of the state, he has shown tremendous lack of courage and competence. It will be in his best interest to resign if he cannot govern the state as constitutionally provided, or he may as well decamp and join APC and be taking directives from Nyesom Wike and President Tinubu on the governance and leadership of the state. Like I stated earlier, these obnoxious directives will not stand. The people of Rivers State, particularly the Jaws, where the majority are who have about 11 local government areas out of the 23 local government areas in the state, will resist it. Because by it, President Tinubu has delivered Rivers State to Nyesom Wike as a reward for delivering the state to him. I call on the people of Rivers State and indeed all well-meaning Nigerians to stand up against it, using all constitutional and legal means, because we do not know the next state in the country that will be affected or pawned to another political customer by President Tinubu as political patronage. It is absurd, it is draconian, it is transactional, it is a rape of our democracy. The people of Rivers State should remember that it was the same lopsided solution to directive that President Tinubu gave to the people of Ondo State, but they resisted and rejected it. Today, the needful has been done in that state. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not allow himself to be treated the way he oversaw Mr. Fubara being treated. We all can recall what happened when he governed Lagos State for 8 years and when he successfully resisted President Obasanjo's dictatorial tendencies when he tried to prevent him from creating more local government areas in Lagos State. Nigerians hailed Bola Ahmed Tinubu for standing up to the occasion. That made him to be the undisputed leader of Lagos State. But today, he's overseeing such draconian and authoritarian action as president of the country, giving directives to a governor to take action on things obviously not intended with the nation's constitution. I, Senator Edwin Clark, as leader of the John Nation and as chairman of the Board of Trustees of the John National Congress INC, decided to hold this emergency press conference with the full authority of my people. We are prepared to face any consequences that may result in the political crisis in Rivers State. We will resist any subtle, subterranean, overt actions to make an elected Ijaw son, Siminalayi Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, a servant. A stooge to Nyesom Wike, who had boasted that any attempt by the governor to touch his so-called Wike structure with the connivance and support of President Bola Tinubu, we will resist all of it. Like I said, we will go to court to resist this oppressive action using all available constitutional and legal means. It is on this note I wish to appeal to the youths who are aggrieved to remain calm, as we will use legal means to dethrone this hydra-headed monster called oppression. Enough is enough. Chief Dr. Edwin Clark, CEO.
Gave Mr. President power over other things, but no power to be extended to the states. But today, because President Tinubu wants to please, it's on Wike. Who is he? He has now decided to hand over the leadership, the political leadership of Rivers State to Wike. It is unacceptable to the people of Rivers State. I repeat, it is unacceptable because they are planning to take over Rivers State in 2027 under APC. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they will coerce, intimidate Fubra to join APC in order to make Rivers State an APC state. God forbid it will not happen. Rather, Fubra in his own interest, because to go with them is a betrayal of Rivers people who voted for him. Particularly the Jotribe, who are standing behind him. I've got information from Rivers State that 8-point program decision was fake because it was not signed by former Governor Odili, Peter Odili, and Fubra himself. They rejected it. How they came into signing it, nobody knows. I think this will be investigated by us. But just now, I'm appealing on behalf of our people to our dear son, Governor Fubra, to stand firm that the President of Nigeria has no authority over him. President was elected, Tinubu was elected with various powers. President to rule Nigeria, Fubra to rule Rivers State. This has been decided by the Supreme Court in various cases, particularly between President Tinubu and President Obasanjo in those days when Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State. Why has he now changed? So, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen what I have said, written down. Tinubu should respect the Constitution of Nigeria, under which he sought an oath to uphold the Constitution. We still love him, we still believe in his leadership as President of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. But as free citizens of this country, we have a right to reject any of its obnoxious directives. Thank you and God bless you. If we really did not sign that agreement, you should pick up the Nigerians. You owe anybody any obligation, you pick up.
Charles, may go, sir.
Dictator for 8 years in Rivers State. He destroyed houses belonging to his opponent. He intimidated them. He sent some people into exile. And when his friends in PDP, the leaders of PDP in Rivers State, including Okpara, including Omea, Abiyasekibo, Main Labour, and others, when they disagreed with him over this Tinubu's, Atiku Abubakar's views, he disgraced them. He silenced them. And both Dr. Abiyasekibo, who was this country's transport minister, and Lay Member, who was the senator of this country, where attempts was made on their life. Attempts was made on their life to kill them. And today, none of them can say anything. With all this trouble going on, have you heard from any of them? They are still being haunted by Wike. So my message to Wike is that you were nobody before. When you left the university as a lawyer, you became a charge and bail lawyer. Thereafter, you subsidized your income with collecting the revenue from motor parts until Amechi recommended you to Odili to become chairman of Obiakpon Local Government Council. That's what happened. In that position, he later became chief of staff in Amechi's government. In that position, both of them planned against Odili, who was master of Amechi. Amechi was the head boy to Dr. Peter Odili. And himself and Wike planned and disgraced Peter Odili out of office. Instituted an inquiry against him. But today, the same Wike, in his contradicting actions, political action, is now promoting Dr. Odili. He has forgotten what he did to the man. The same Odili, in his position as chief of staff, was plotting against his boss, Amechi. He wanted to be the next governor. And as a result, when Amechi said this, he recommended him for appointment as minister to President Jonathan. It was then in that position because the minister for River State has already been appointed. That is Ms. Emma Peppo. So Wike became Minister of State Education. He started joining Mr. Jonathan to oppose the elected governor of River State, Amechi. Thereafter, in 2013, as I reported here, he came to River State as minister. He instigated 5 of his members under the leadership of one Michael Chinda from his place to take over the house by impeaching Honorable Amakri, who was the speaker, and eventually to accept it. So Wike is nobody. People should learn from their own history. It's only in Nigeria. Once you become a governor, you have become the first nobility in your family. Your father who died 25 years ago, this is the time you want to bury him, give him a state burial, second burial. They become oppressive dictator. That is the character of Wike. So when you ask me, what do I have to say about Wike? Wike is nobody. And I've objected to him for the past 8 years. I refused to talk to him when he was governor. So I don't know Wike anything because he's Mr. Nobody. Tinubu can promote him to whatever you want to promote him. To quote the dictum of my old headmaster in 1950, Debona, he said, "Monkey going grand." He comes back the same monkey.